long story. Too long for the stream. Okay. So, welcome everybody to the first episode of The Legion of Dirtbag Heroes. At least is what I'm calling it. And this is a Cypher system game that is going to be superhero themed in all the right ways. So, I'm Chris Renshaw. I will be the GM for this little shindig here. Katie, let's start with you. Why don't you introduce your character?
Hi. My character is Mistress Mentalist. She commands powers. Do you want some backstory or just the name?
Let's give us a nice, what does your character look like? And maybe just just give us a description.
She's kind of medium height, about 5'6", not very tall. She's got frazzled red hair, kind of like, Miss Frizzle?
Oh, okay.
She's
like
got frizzle hair.
Okay.
Wears glasses sometimes.
Got it.
She remembers.
All right. What about you, Ryan?
My character is the Alloyed Avenger. He's a vengeful explorer who fuses flesh and steel. So he's a relatively tall human male. Would be nondescript, except for many parts of him have metal pieces on, as if he's slowly crafting pieces of metal onto his body to sort of patch wounds and things like that.
He's going from human to cyborg to robot.
Yes. Not terribly far along in that so far, but enough to wear long clothing to conceal it from the common people, so as not to scare them.
He could pass as human.
He could, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty easily. His face is not metal yet. There's nothing there. Just his arms, legs, torso, things like that.
Got it. Does
patches.
He have any sort of display? I'm thinking contacts or something that can give him heads up display info.
Yes, he does. That's a great idea. He definitely has those things.
I mean, he's got to make sure all the parts are functioning.
Yeah, he can sort of maintain his system by that sort of thing. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Haha. All right, Randy, who is below me in this setup we have here.
Well, by day I'm Bill. I'm a guard.
Are you just a Bill?
People... No, I am
on
the
Capitol
Bill.
Hill?
Nope, I'm just Bill. Everybody knows me as Bill. I know people everywhere. That's by day. By night, I'm Newton. Because I control gravity. So I'm a big, muscular guy, almost like a bouncer at a club. I had that persona around town that, I know people and they're afraid of me. I'm a bruiser. By day. At night, I will throw you up in the air, control you, and let you fall. Or maybe not. I'll let you decide.
Awesome. And in future, I'll make sure in the future that we have tags for people watching this that lets everyone know who's who. But in the meantime, by the way, shout out to Edgar in the chat room. He says his supervillain name would be the Well because he sneaks behind enemies and injects them with the bubonic plague and then watches them suffer and die.
That sounds like our kind of dirtbag.
Yep, exactly. I may have to use that. Thanks for the input. Maybe I need to get a hashtag going where people can send me villain ideas. Okay, one thing I didn't mention to you guys playing, do you have something that you can mark down XP as I give it out?
Yes.
Okay, it could be a coin, it could be whatever. So, to start off with, we will give everyone nice 1 XP to kind of prime the pump, as it were, so that you guys could have stuff for rerolls or whatever you want to use them for. Think of them like fate points or destiny points.
1 XP.
But they also count as XP too, so. All right. So as we established in our kind of character creation thing, your base is a bar that's called the Dirtbags, where you guys are currently all at. So what are you doing at your bar currently?
Manning the door.
You're the that's right. You're the bouncer. So what happens? What does everybody get in as soon as you get called away?
No, there's another guy we hired too. His name is Phil.
You just like tap out.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, by
I'm
the
just
way,
sitting
we
upstairs
we
tinkering
talked
with
about
things.
the owner that the person who actually runs the bar owes you is also the bartender and owes you a life debt. I couldn't come up with a name for him though, so somebody give me a name for him.
Hank.
I like Hank. Let's go with
I
Hank.
like Hank.
So
Hank the bartender.
Hank is an older gentleman. He's seen some shit, you know. May have been like an ex-cop, ex-detective in a previous, you know. But he managed to make it past that 2 days close to retirement phase and managed to survive some big thing and retire while he was on top. And now he just likes helping out and owes you guys a lot. So he now bankrolls you basically by running this bar. So he's over at the bar, you know, scrubbing down the counters and giving out drinks or anything. But what are the Mistress and the Avenger doing?
I'm just sitting upstairs tinkering with my parts and things.
You're in the
Trying to come up
lab.
with the next big thing. Yeah.
Oh, we have a
next-
lab?
Why wouldn't you have a lab?
I don't know.
So, how question?
Maybe
do
I
we have
blew
to
it
go-
up. You never know.
Who doesn't say that you have to keep rebuilding it? That's why it's on the second floor. Heck, that's probably how you get people to come there because it's like a thrill. They're waiting to see if like an explosion's gonna happen.
Will the bar explode tonight?
Yeah, there's like a side.
So how do you?
Hank's got like a side bet going on the. There's like you know in Deadpool there was that Deadpool thing.
The Deadpool board, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
they've got the same thing except for it's like. Will the bar or will the lab explode? Will somebody try to like take someone hostage in the bar? You know, like all the things that like stereotypically happen in movies, you know, because it's like everyone, you know, it's easy access into the bar. Well, I mean, like past the bouncers and stuff. So like everybody knows where to come to get you. So just stuff happens all the time. And you could like get all secret basey and it would probably be better. But you know what? Forget that. Forget that crap. You know, that's not your style.
So how do you get in the lab? I mean, is there like a fireman pole?
Yes. It is. Does anybody remember the 66 Batman?
That
I
seems like
don't
too
know.
much work.
That's not a problem for me.
Does anybody remember the 66 Batman where you would they had the pole that you'd slide down and it had a costume change lever? But there was also a button for the there was like an air pressure thing on the bottom of the plate and like you'd press it and it would go psh and like shoot upwards.
That would be okay.
That works.
So right now there's 3 poles there. But we'll say for the sake of security that they're like hand palmed accessed, so you just can't have someone go hit a button and go up to your lab. So what are you two working on? Well, you said you were tinkering with parts, but what is the Mistress doing up in the lab, which I'm assuming is where you said you were?
Yes. She's attempting to work on some new gadgets, which may or may not turn out very well.
Nice.
We don't know. Hear a little pop and little pop. See some smoke.
I gotcha.
I'm like oiling my knee joints.
All right, enough with the sound effects. All right. So, anyways, it's just an ordinary day like it always is. And then suddenly there's an explosion and a rattling. And the first thing everyone does is you hear cheering downstairs until they realize that it wasn't the lab that exploded. And then all of a sudden you start hearing this like, "Aww." So suddenly all the monitors, you can, so Randy, you see down in the bar, like a lot of the TV screens like flash to the local, like, breaking news, this just in. Meanwhile, up in the lab, you've got monitors that are watching this stuff, and they're going like, bloop, 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 and they're like all flapping on, and they're like, giant explosion happened in City Square. And you can see that there's like, not only is there like an explosion, there's like this big vortex of like energy just kind of pulsing at the center. It looks like there was an explosion and then it kind of like contained itself and it's just kind of sitting there again. And it's just kind of pulsing back and forth.
Is it like hovering over the city or something?
Not so much. It's not like over the city. It's like literally in the square. Like there are singe marks around the ground where this kind of explosion happened.
Well, that doesn't look good.
So I go, hey, Phil, take the door. And I go slide down the pole.
You mean up the pole?
Yeah.
The lab's on top, and that's where the poles are.
I go up the pole because I can control gravity.
Yes. Because you just hate using the scanner.
Yeah, because there's germs on it.
Okay. Now, do you have some?
I have OCD.
We established that if you need to get to the bank, that there's these kind of like, there's one of those like giant
tubes,
version
right?
of the pneumatic tubes that takes you there. But there's got to be, you got to have probably some sort of vehicle to get around to everywhere else. What's that like?
A Volkswagen hippie bus.
Yes.
Chinkies.
The shaggin' wagon.
No,
The
God.
shaggin' wagon.
And you haven't gotten around to painting it yet, so it still says that.
No,
I'm like,
it's
what?
still. Yeah,
No,
we
I mean, we're
gotta
talking
use-
shag carpet, quadraphonic sound and a strobe light.
Okay, so maybe we'll say that the poles also go down to like a garage.
Like an under garage. Yeah.
All right. So we'll fast forward, and so Randy manages to get to the shaggin' wagon first, and he's like getting it all started up, ready to go. And I'm assuming everybody else is going down to join him.
Yeah, I'm picturing
Yeah.
like a days since last incident sign in our lab somewhere. Just brush it off the chalk number 4 or whatever it was. And then
4.
You like brush it off, and there's just like this imprint of a 0 because that's the
Zero.
number there the most.
yeah.
So
Just jump down and go.
and then I imagine Randy hits like, think like Men in Black, don't press the red button. Like Randy
Mhm.
presses this like red button and these like giant engines just come out and the thing just like zooms down like a tunnel. Like
As it plays Don McLean's American Pie as we drive down.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So meanwhile on the street, something has to we'll say like a department store opens up as it's like a fake department store opens up and then Shaggy Wagon comes flying out and you head down towards Town Square. Which, by the way, as you know, not only is there the Town Square, there's like a nice little park. There's also the big, huge city hall that's got like this fat, flashy skyscraper that just got built. There's also cool things like there's a little shawarma restaurant on the bottom of the restaurant because the city that we're playing
Shawarma.
is Silver City. The restaurant is called the Silver Slice.
Nice.
So
Shawarma.
you managed to skid to a stop. It's one of those like you skid and like 2 wheels go up in the air and then it just chunk falls back down. And I forgot, what's the siren that your vehicle's making as it's coursing through the city?
Classic.
Yeah, like classic, France.
Okay. All right, like European police. I got it. Okay. So given that you get out and you are currently stunned by this kind of like it's like a bluish purplish kind of orb of energy that's just kind of pulsating. And ever since that, when you saw it, you've seen that the pulses are kind of getting faster and faster, like something's about to happen.
Mm.
So, what are you going to do?
Glance
That
around. Do we
really
see
doesn't look good.
anything like obviously nefarious, like any guy like waving his hands like this?
No, you cannot see any sort of cause from that's causing this sort of thing. At least not immediately. However, the
Right.
more you stare at it, you realize that it looks like there's something inside the orb that's starting to appear. You start to see outlines of two shapes, and as the orb begins to pulse, it suddenly like sucks back in, and then there's like another blast, and everyone. Let's see. Is there? Let's get a might. Let's get a might roll from everybody. This is a level
Right.
2 task, so if you remember, you need to beat a 6.
$19.
19. Okay.
7.
7.
I got a 17.
All right. Well, Katie, you get a minor effect. So you can add one little detail to this scenario if you want. So you managed to brace yourself to avoid getting knocked down from this blast. In fact, everybody does. A lot of people around the area that have been like kind of gawking. The cops like set up a barrier, but like all that kind of gets knocked over and pushed away. But give me a detail. How do you want to tweak this scene a little bit?
The police that came, they have a huge SWAT tank.
Okay.
Like, that didn't blow away.
Okay, it did blow away, but it did kind of like skid a little bit. So, as you collect yourself and manage to look around, you see that appearing kind of like in the crater that's kind of left, you see two kind of armored figures kind of sitting there. Or not sitting there. They're like standing right where the center of the area is.
Do they look peaceful or up to no good?
You cannot tell at this point. However,
Somebody.
after a minute of them kind of looking, or like, they're kind of motionless for a second, but then when they start to kind of like come to, they're looking around and looking at their surroundings. They turn and see each other, and all of a sudden start firing at each other.
I pick up the tank and I throw it at them.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right, I need a might roll.
13.
All right. Now, did you put any points into? What did you put points into?
Let's see. Looking at my might,
meaning you got the remember, you not the like actual numbers, but remember you had your I forgot what they're called now. Power
Oh shoot, we got those.
Yeah, first tier something resilient.
The power shift, is that what you're looking
Yes.
Oh, you're
Thank
talking
you.
about the
Power
power
shift.
Oh.
at? I don't have one of those yet.
You should.
So-
Everybody should have 3 of them.
3 of them.
Okay, hang on.
Okay,
that
where did
too.
I write that down at?
Yeah. So everybody should have 3 power shifts, which you can assign to basically just about anything on your character sheet, and it's a permanent level of effort that you always get. So, for instance, Randy, if you wanted to, you could dump it all into your might attack. Specific, like you could say that, and usually you have to get a little specific with it, talking about like, when I'm doing a might attack, I get this, and you could dump all 3, so you get 3 shifts, like a +9 basically, to any might-based attack rolls that you do.
I like that.
So, like if you were a speedster, you could put it into your speed roll so that you're always getting like a +9 on your speed rolls.
So +9 to gravity might rolls.
Right. Because it basically lowers the difficulty down. But because the way that the shifts work and the way that levels of effort work is you have a target number. Let's say the target number was 12. Every shift would bring that down 3. So it's just easier on your end because I may not always be giving you the target number to just add it to your roll.
Is shooting a firearm still a might attack? Because I could just make a power shift, I guess, with firearms because that's what I would be.
Yeah, there you go. I think technically it's a speed.
Okay, so I got the power shift there. Okay, so yes, I will use my power shift for a might attack with my gravity ability. So that would make that a 22.
All right. So you definitely toss that sucker, and it manages to crash, and it hits right in the middle where you were expecting it to. However, when the dust settles, you don't see anyone there. In fact, you don't even see bodies.
All right, that was a good mission, guys. How about some shawarma?
I know a good place right down the road.
No, actually, there's one like right to your right. There's the Silver Slice. However, before you can actually decide that you can go, before he even gets the words shawarma out of your mouth, he's got all of a sudden like all of your comm badges or whatever communicator you guys are using. We'll say
Neuro broadcasting.
You probably got like an earpiece or something. Like your earpiece goes off, and it's like, Dirtbags, we need you at the what did I call it? Oh, we need you at the 30-piece union immediately. 30-piece union is the bank that is always getting hijacked. It's like, we are currently under attack. Somebody used all the ruckus in the city center to cover up. We need you right away.
Quick, to the second wagon.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden we cut to
More like Barry White, that the Shaggin' Wagon is like a Barry White kind of sound.
You just see like an image of the van, and it's just like, oh yeah, and then it cuts
Oh
to
yeah,
the next scene. All right, so you arrive at the 30-piece union. So as is obvious, there's alarms going off. There's people running out of the building. You peer inside, and you can see nothing out of the ordinary. You see about a couple guys with guns. From outside, you can't really make out much of what's going on. Although from what you can see, it looks like a robbery. But that's about, you can't get numbers or anything yet.
All right, so is there like a security guard there?
Yes, he's currently down on the ground with a couple of hostages, like hands behind his head.
So we walk in like a bunch of badasses and ask what's going on.
Okay. All right, so you're just walking right in?
Well, yeah, we're dirtbags.
I'll draw my gun, but yeah. Sure.
Okay, then I'm going to need initiative rolls off of everybody. Which, unless it's just a base roll unless you have a skill in initiative.
Danger sense, so I get reduce 1 step for initiative.
Okay, so like I said, just add 3 to your roll because otherwise it'll be like, okay, if it was a 9, then it'd be a 6 for you and a 9 for everybody else. So it's just easy to add 3 in this case.
With that, it's an 18.
Okay. What about Randy?
12.
12. And Katie?
6.
Oh,
All right. Okay. So as you walk in, you notice. So, Ryan, you will go first. And as you guys are entering the bank, you notice that there are kind of like 5 standard kind of thug-looking dudes. There's another dude that clearly looks like he's in charge. And then you see another guy that's in more armored kind of stuff, and he's got something on his arms. He's got 2 things. You assume it must be some sort of cannon or something. But he's a lot buffer, a lot more menacing. And right now they're all kind of like, the other guy hasn't. He's noticing. The leader kind of turns and sees you guys and is kind of like yelling out orders, but nobody's really done anything yet.
I'm going to shoot at the leader person with my
Okay.
handgun.
All right.
So it's a medium weapon.
Yes.
And okay, you have to remind me how to do that because it's been a while.
Okay. So medium is just going to be it's going to be just a roll.
Yeah. So it's
unless you have any sort of skill or
that's a 4, so that's going to be a miss.
so
Almost
4, but
probably.
didn't you say firearms? You had your
I do. So it would be a 7, I guess.
Okay, and you were attacking the leader?
Yes.
All right. Well, you do miss.
Mhm.
But you manage it does manage to kind of like graze, like kind of go by, but no, you do manage to miss.
Yeah.
And he kind of jumps back. He's like, "Oh man!" And so with that, you gonna do anything else movement wise? Or you just gonna stay where you are?
I'll start trying to close the distance between myself and the thing with the cannon looking
All right.
thing.
So you're charging him basically.
Yeah, just running and shooting.
Okay. All right. Katie, what about you?
I'm
Or wait,
gonna...
who had the 6?
Oh, that was me.
Okay, then Brandy. Sorry.
Yeah.
so I will just keep standing where I am, and I will look at the big guy with the big guns, and I will pick him up and throw him out the window.
Okay. Give me a roll.
Ah, crap. Reroll off the desk.
Do, 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 do.
27.
27. All right. You managed to pick him up, and you managed to toss him a little ways. You don't manage to get him out the window, but you do. So what was your natural roll?
Being 18 on the natural roll.
18. So you managed to get +2 damage.
All right.
But and then what is your? Let's see. You probably we'll say your attacks are medium weapons. So that'd be like 4 damage. So, but yeah, you managed to crash him into the wall, but not as far as you expected. He definitely was a little bit more reinforced than you pictured when you originally made your effort. So you more of kind of like, instead of like throwing him out the window, you more of kind of like slam him into a nearby wall, but not enough to like make him go through the wall.
Okay.
All right.
But for my next move, I'm just going to keep banging him into the wall.
Okay.
I'll wait for my next turn.
All right. All right. And then with that guy's gonna like stand up and like shake off his guns, and then he is going to attack Ryan, who's running, the Avenger, who's flying at him. So Ryan, I need you to make a level 5 speed defense roll. So you need to beat a 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend an effort for
Okay.
that, and I have an edge, so it's only 2 out of my pool.
Right.
And I am
So
trained
now that'll
in
reduce
that,
it to
too.
a 12
Yeah, and I'm trained as well
in speed defense.
in speed defense.
All right, so you reduce it again to a
So
9.
Okay, so I'll roll. I got a 14.
You got a 14. All right, so you
we're
manage
good.
to, as this guy like activates his cannon, flames go firing out, and manage to like singe like some of the, what are those things, stanchions that are like the the little lines that have the little like you see them whenever someone's making lines. They're like poles that have the little tape.
I don't know the name for that.
I think they're called stanchions. But like he manages to knock some of those over and like score a bunch of those. So with that, and then let's see here. I need everybody else to make a level 3 speed defense roll. So both Katie and Randy, I need you to beat a 9 on a speed defense roll. This is for all the other guys shooting.
Okay, I got a plus sign. Is that a crit on this?
What, a plus sign?
An X or a plus? I think it's an X.
Okay.
It's on the Cypher dice.
What's on the opposite side?
There's like the Cypher logo.
Then yeah, I think that's the 1.
Okay, well then I got a 1.
Yep.
Oh, X means crit fail. Got it. I crit failed.
Okay. And Katie, what did you get?
12.
12. Okay, so you managed to tuck and roll out of the bullet fire. But Randy, I
got shot.
You got shot. So you will take 9 points of damage minus your any armor you have.
I don't even know if I have any armor. I don't have anything.
I would imagine you should have.
Yeah, I don't have any armor on. I need to get armor, I guess.
You should have at least one. Like the basic superhero costume provides 1 point of armor. So unless you, and I think that's one of the things you could put shifts into. So then you take 8 points of damage out of your might.
Out of our might?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I ain't doing too well.
Not only that, as you are taken aback and manage to crash into one of the workers' stations, knocking a whole bunch of like computers and electronics and like equipment off, and not only that, but onto one of the bank workers is now pinned under a bunch of rubble that's like right next to you. And of course, you hear like screams like, ah!
I have a question.
What's
Did
that?
we ever figure out ciphers?
No, we didn't. So
yeah, I have 2 might left.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think it might be important.
Yep. We'll get past this first scene, and then we'll get to ciphers.
We just didn't have any on us.
Excuse me. I think I screwed up in the damage level. It should be 3 points, so 2 points of damage because it would have been 3, not 9. My bad. So you would have taken 3 points. You should have taken 3 points of damage minus
not
1.
8.
Not so 2. You would have taken 2 total. I forgot.
Okay, that's a lot better.
Level 3 doesn't do 9 points of damage. It does 3 points of damage. I got my stuff reversed.
Better.
All right. So then, Katie, it's over to you.
Okay. I want to enthrall the big guy.
You want to enthrall, and that's basically you just keep talking to him.
I keep talking, and he just...
And that just happens, I believe. You just spend points, and it just happens.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so he's just kind of... What are you saying to him?
I'm kind of just muttering, oh, isn't it nice weather? Look at the nice weather. Oh, look at that. Someone's pinned under the thing over there.
And he's just
Did
like,
you do that?
And you see him, like, the guns are kind of like, he's like slouched and kind of like that. And with that, we go back to the top of the round, and it is Ryan again.
Okay, so the cannon arm guy was next to the lead henchman type guy, yes?
Yes.
I'm going to sort of pivot and go for the henchman guy instead.
Okay, the leader?
And try to charge him and just shoot at him.
Wait, are you going the leader or are you going the...
Yes, the lead guy.
Okay.
All right. Not the guy.
So you're just charging him basically?
Yeah, just going to charge at him and shoot again. Try and close distance.
All right. Oh, are you shooting or are you like just going to...
I'm shooting on the way in, but I want to keep running into him
Gotcha.
just to sort of.
Okay. Well then, make a another roll, a firearms roll for you.
Yep. So it would be a 14 this time.
A 14. All
after
right.
the plus. Yeah.
You do manage to hit him and knock him down. And what is your
It's a handgun, so 4 damage. It's a medium weapon.
Okay. Do you have anything where it upgrades the damage or anything for me?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
So just 4 damage. All right. So you are right up there in his face. You managed to clock him right in his shoulder. And he's just like, ow, you shot me. You're not supposed to shoot people. That's what we
Was
do.
that the leader or the muscle guy?
The leader.
Okay.
The other guy's kind of like, right now. So, all right, Randy, over to you. Over to you.
Like, hey, be careful.
Okay, so
with
you
that
said
tech. That could
you
be
said
useful.
there's a clerk or a bank person with a bunch of like computer equipment on them.
Yes, like basically a bunch of rubble at this point.
Okay, I will do my gravity thing again, and I will pick up the rubble off of the victim and chuck it on the head of the muscle guy.
Okay. I'll say that is a I'm going to make that a level 5 task because you're trying to make sure that you don't take the person with you or with it.
Okay, so what do I got to beat?
You've got to beat a 15.
19.
19. That was the roll or that was with your bonuses?
It was a 10 plus the bonus.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Yep.
So you managed, yes. So the guy is left behind, but you do manage to throw your stuff. And I forgot. Are you using an ability to do this?
It's my
Yeah.
my might attack, my gravity ability.
Okay. And how much? Doesn't it say how much damage it is?
I don't think so. Let me see. Hover, field of gravity, gravity cleave. Would it be flight, weight of the world? Yeah, look at all the different ones here. You can harm a target within short range by rapidly increasing gravity's pull.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. When you wish it, a field of manipulated gravity pulls you from incoming range projectiles attack to the ground.
Okay.
That's more of it.
All right.
But I don't see.
It doesn't say if it's a light or medium or.
No, the one above it says gravity cleave is 6 points of damage.
Okay. I was gonna say it's probably more like a heavy weapon, so we'll just go with 6 points of damage, anyways. And are you taking off points or minus any?
No, it's just the base roll.
Okay.
I don't want to spend anything.
Well, no, but meaning, do those abilities have point values on them?
4 intellect points for gravity cleave. 3 intellect points for gravity cleave. 4 for field of gravity.
Yeah, so you need that minus your edge. You need to keep those in mind because you'll be spending them out of your pools to do that.
Okay, so to do that, it was 3, I guess.
Yes.
So 3 out of my intellect. Okay.
All right.
I gotta remember, how do you get the pools back?
They're recovery rolls. You get one as the first one's an action. The second one takes an hour. The second one takes 10 minutes. The third one an hour, and then the last one takes 10 hours. And it's 1d6 plus 1 at this level.
Okay.
All right. And so you manage to fling this stuff at him. This guy, it knocks the dude completely off his feet. It is going to break the trance, though, because that's the same dude that the mistress was enthralling right now. But it is going to knock him against the wall again. He is currently unconscious. He does not look like he's completely gone, but he is kind of like phased for the moment. And with that, everyone's going to turn their guns on Randy because they're like, "Oh shit!" And so, Randy, I need you to beat a level 5 attack. So I need you to beat a 15. Speed
I
defense.
do not. speed defense. Can I spend points on that?
Yes, you could. Yeah, I mean, you could spend. Well, you would have had to say it beforehand.
Okay.
You could have spent speed pools to do it. However, you can spend your XP to re-roll.
I will use my 1 XP to re-roll that.
Okay.
Much better, 17.
All right. So with that, you do manage to get. How are you docking this hail of gunfire?
Wait, say you broke up on the comm. Go ahead.
So you like all these guns are like turning your way and just letting rip a bunch of bullets. How are you dodging this specifically? Give me some cinematic flair.
Let's see. Let's see. What do? I just hover. I just kind of go up in the air, and they all shoot past me.
Okay. So you're just like up and away. Do you leave do you leave the bank? Like, do you just like Superman straight through the roof, or?
No, I just kind of hover up into the ceiling.
Okay.
I kind of Mary Poppins and shit.
Okay. All right. And with that, we go to Katie.
Okay. Now I'm going to encourage my allies.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh. So, what I'm picking is the defense task. So each one gets lowered by 1 difficulty.
Oh, nice.
For speed defense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Guys, you can do it.
You can do it. It's all up to you. Okay.
Okay.
I just get this feeling of, yeah.
Well,
Give me another rock.
give me another. Oh my gosh! Suddenly, I'm thinking of Randy's like Killer Croc in the original Batman the Animated Series, where they're all talking about how all the villains are talking about how they got Batman. They're like, I threw a rock at him. It was a big rock. All right, so that we go back to Ryan.
Yeah. The Allied Avenger is going to probably have
So
closed
you are
the distance
you are
from him.
up in this in the boss
Yeah.
man's face at this
I'm
point.
going to try and grapple him with one arm and just hold the pistol to his head.
Okay. All
Which
right.
I guess probably might to grapple him.
Yeah, but we'll say
don't know.
it's only like a level 9. Or I mean level 3. You only have to beat a
Okay.
9.
Sure. Or I have an edge there too, so I'll use an effort just in case.
Okay.
Which is good because I rolled a 4, so that would be maybe that's
No,
so,
because he
yeah,
would have had to beat a 6.
Yeah, I rolled a 4. Yeah, no, I failed.
All right. So you go to grapple him, but this guy knows like some moves. And he manages to like when you go into grapple, he kind of grabs your arm and manages to flip you over him. So you are laid out, or so you are on your back looking up at him now. Now he's got his gun in your face.
My back.
Oh, no.
All right. And then we go over to Randy.
So what's the status on the muscle guy with the big guns?
He has not gotten up yet.
Okay, I will try to pick him up and throw him out the window again.
Okay.
And I
Then
will use my my might attack, my gravity attack to go.
then make
out
sure
the
you
window
spend
level.
make sure you spend your intellect points
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes.
give me a roll.
Okay. Hold on, I'm taking care of my intellect points real fast.
And typically, whenever you spend points, the abilities just kind of happen. But this is more what happens with the determine what happened kind of thing. Like you're
Okay, so
gonna
it was a 9.
you're gonna fling
was a 9
something, but this is how well you flung it.
Yeah, it's 9 on the base roll plus my 9, making an 18.
Oh yeah, this guy goes like goes flying out the window, and not only that, like he goes out the window and a bus hits him like as soon as he goes out the window.
I
And
was
so
going to
there's
use
just-
those cannons.
So I will turn around and look at the guy that Ryan has grappled right now.
No,
And just,
I'm on the
I
ground.
just, you're on the ground.
Yeah.
So is he like standing over you right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he like basically he's looking
Flip me
up
over.
at
So
Ryan
I
is
just
on the
look at
ground
him,
with some sort of rifle in his face.
I just look over and go. I just kind of clear my throat. Then I just look at him and give a smirk.
All right. And with that is this guy's gonna look at him. He's gonna look at you. He's gonna look at Ryan. He's gonna like cock his gun, and then he's gonna look out the window and see like the crowd and everything looking around. And then all of a sudden you see everyone just kind of like stand straight and like activate like a watch, and they just like disappear.
Well, that was weird.
However,
I'm sad.
the big armored dude doesn't disappear. He's still in the mess that's like he's in some mass of machine and metal and body flesh that's all kind of fused together right now.
Is he dead?
Oh, he's totally dead. There's like
I was
pieces
gonna-
there's like pieces of the bus that have like stabbed through, like piercing the armor kind of thing.
Oh, sorry, Katie. I was gonna let you interrogate him.
No, you flung him like well out. You only needed to beat
Yeah.
a 9 with him knocked out. So you rolled like double that. So he went flying and you just completely bashed the shit out of him. So all right, and so the manager of the bank, which is this like old short lady, if you remember. Who is this? What's this lady's name?
Betty White.
No.
Betty Gray.
All right, I'll go
Barbara
with.
Brown.
What was that? I like Betty Brown.
Betty and pick a color, damn it.
All right, so Miss Betty Brown comes on and is like, "Oh yes, thank you once again. You've saved the money again. Although, once again, you've done a talent for destruction that I'll have to file paperwork for."
I'm gonna like slowly get up and say, "Hold my back." It's like, "Oh, no problem."
I look at her and say, "Thank you for being our friend."
Don't worry, Mrs. Brown. At least it didn't explode this time.
That is true. I only have one wall to replace, although that other one over there may need some replastering. So, as the noises are all starting to like die down and like people are rushing in, you do hear that the bank teller, the one that had all the rubble knocked on, was one you've seen him before, Tony. He's been at the bank a while. You've interacted with him a bunch, and that's the guy that It looks like his legs are pretty messed up. He's being lifted onto like a what's it called? I can't even think of it.
The stretcher.
Stretcher,
Gurney?
yes, the gurney. As the paramedics are coming in and get him situated, and he's like, "Dirtbags, thank you."
Tony.
I'm sorry. I was too slow. I couldn't get out of the way.
We're getting too old for this shit.
All right, and so that appears. So nothing else seems to be. There's no immediate danger at this point.
Except we've got
So,
some teleporting hooligans running around somewhere.
Yep. You know what sounds good?
What's that?
Shawarma.
All right. Is there anything you want to do? Any sort of questions or interrogating or anything? Or are you just ready to let bygones be bygones here?
I would kind of like to know what happened, but I don't know. We can ask other like bank tellers or anyone else who was there.
I mean, you
Yeah,
could
you're this.
you could talk to Miss Brown. I mean, she's
Sure.
right
Aren't
there.
you a
So did you
Ryan? Aren't
see
you
what
like a
started all
cyborg?
this? I mean, not yet. I mean, kind of.
I would
It's
say
such
you
like a
you
black
are
and white
you are
term,
you
like-
are cyborg. You have components.
I did,
Yeah.
sure,
Why couldn't
yes.
you interface with the bank security camera system?
I could try. We could just ask.
I
We
mean-
could do both.
Okay.
Mrs. Brown, can we look at your security footage?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's not much to look at. This was kind of like your standard thing, you know. Some guys had been planning some sort of. Looks like they may have been behind the explosion in the city center, because as soon as it happened, they were here, as if they planned for it.
Did they come
Although
through the door, or did they just appear?
they did just appear.
Hmm.
So, but it was weird. As soon as they appeared, like a second before the explosion happened, but it seemed to stun them, like almost like they weren't expecting it to be as big as it was.
Yeah, it happened.
And so they were kind of stunned and looking at the city center for a second, but they quickly got over it. And then, you know, it just standard, like, wanting to get money for, you know, who knows, nefarious purposes. I don't know why people just don't get a job.
Some people just don't
Fascinating.
have a good work ethic.
We could look at the footage and try to like slow it down frame by frame and kind of see what's happening.
Okay. So you've got like I'm assuming you have some sort of console on your arm kind of thing.
Yeah, something like
so
that.
like you press some buttons and like a little holographic display kind of like projects up in the air, like not like huge, but just like above your arm a little bit,
Mhm.
so that like a little tiny window that like kind of like shows your systems have already your systems are already integrated into the bank, because you've been here, done this before, and like you're like moving buttons and like rewinding
Yeah,
footage.
let's take a look.
And so yeah, you see like, you know, you can see kind of just like they beamed in, you see just like points of light appear, and then just like they just kind of appear in formation, like they were about ready, that they had scoped the place out. They knew exactly where to go. Like one of them's like right behind the guard and quickly takes out the security guard. But just like Miss Brown said, as soon as you can see kind of in the distance like the flash of the explosion. But like as she said, like everybody turns and looks at it, including the robbers, and they all just kind of like stare at it for a second. Like there's one guy like looking back towards the boss. He's got like his arms up in the air, and then all of a sudden you just see the boss like motioning back towards the employees, and then they get back on task.
But we rewind a bit, and they just appeared there, like in one frame of camera footage all at once. They just.
Well, yeah, it's like a gradual, you know, it's not like they just go boom and they're in. Like
Okay.
you see like a little flat, you see like some light, and then just a frame or two later, they just start to appear. If you're
So
asking, it is nothing. It does not look, and they were dressed different than the figures that appeared in the city center. If you're trying to make a connection there.
So they're not the same, but they might be related, although something didn't quite go as planned, it seems like. It's interesting.
Yeah, they didn't plan on us.
When they left, didn't they touch something on their wrist to disappear?
Yes.
They did. Would we recognize that kind of tech? Have we seen anything like that before?
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, transporting tech's it's not brand new. It's been kind of in an experimental worked. There were some plans that got leaked onto the black market not too long ago. So it's easy to guess that it was based off of that same kind of tech.
Okay. This is gonna sound weird, but I want to go like look at that cannon arm guy's like mangled corpse and see if we can like salvage anything from it to investigate.
Okay.
Maybe the exact transporter gear.
All right.
Yeah, and just to see what kind of stuff is not like completely destroyed.
Okay. Then I'm gonna need you to. It's gonna be an intellect kind of based roll. So what are your intellect skills?
So one of my shifts is for like using technology. So like technology knowledge checks.
Okay.
So I get that would be the only thing that I think applies.
All right. Then I need you to make a level 4 intellect roll. So I need you to beat a 12 normally.
I did not. I got a 5. So.
You got a 5. Okay. Any useful pieces of technology, like critical CPU components, have been destroyed, like utterly, either from being crushed, from being thrown, or pieces of the bus that have gotten sharded right through, that sort of thing.
I hate when this happens, man. Why'd you have to throw him out the window? I got nothing here, guys. I'm sorry.
You might be able to salvage like one of the fire cannons.
Yeah, we'll rip it off. Take it with us.
Okay.
Throw it in the back of the wagon.
All right.
With the arm still attached.
No.
Just shake it off a little bit.
However, you don't think it's got much of a charge. In fact, this is going to be one of your ciphers. Is this fire cannon?
Ooh,
it's got
Dead
good for
man's hand.
No, the arm is not attached.
Okay.
It's just the cannon, but since it's damaged and separated from the main component, it's only got like enough for like a one big attack sort of thing. So
Okay.
Can we
with it.
strap it on the side of the shaggin' wagon?
I
I'm
mean,
gonna hang on to it for
you
now. until
could,
we-
but it is more handheld size. Not handheld, but like
I'll carry it.
it's an arm cannon.
Oh, because we could have a montage. We could make a turret-mounted weapon. Katie loves turret-mounted weapons.
Gonna make a montage.
It sounds
She loves
expensive.
twin mounts on Humvees.
All right. While we got to stop here, I'll go ahead and give you out the rest of you out ciphers.
Cyphers!
So, does everybody get 2? Anybody get more than 2?
Dos.
I have 2.
Okay. And is anybody taking the gun as a cipher?
The cannon.
Yeah, the arm cannon.
No.
I would be interested in it unless someone else wants it.
That's all you. I
Sure.
attack with my
Yeah.
mind.
Sure, I'll carry it.
What am I gonna use it for?
I mean, I'll carry it. Yeah, I'll take
All
the
right.
arm cannon.
It's basically a heavy weapon, one-time attack, but it does, it does 6 points of damage.
Okay.
I attack with my mind because I have brain control.
Brain. All right.
If
Then
you know that movie, you're a nerd.
all right. So, and then you guys can. I'm basically giving you the mechanical things. You can either say what form it takes. If it's like a pill, if it's just like some piece of your powers that's like you struggled really hard and managed to do this like one time super awesome thing, or if it's just like a gizmo you have on a belt sort of thing. So, does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So
Load us up.
let's see. Kato, we'll start with you. You have a paralyzing mental scrambler.
Ooh.
2 rounds after being activated, the device creates an invisible field that fills an area and lasts for 1 minute, like for a short range. It scrambles the mental processes of all thinking creatures so they cannot act. It lasts for as long as they remain in the field and for 1d6 rounds after. Although they can attempt an intellect roll each round to act normally.
Okay.
All right, and then the next one, because this one looks just as cool. You have amnesia gas ammunition. When fired, it bursts into a poisonous cloud, lingers for 1d6 rounds. Living creatures that breathe and think permanently lose all memory of the last minute.
Oh, that actually kind of works with the backstory.
All right, Ryan. You have a sniper module. Increases the effective range of any ranged weapon to 2 miles for 1 hour.
Wow. Okay.
All right. And
I
then
have
you
the
have
cannon. as
nope,
the other
that's
one.
basically. Oh yeah, that's right, the cannon. Well, that works for this. Yeah.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it projects a ray of heat concentrated fire up to 200 feet.
Okay.
All right. And then Randy,
Woohoo!
you have a armor reinforcer. You get +2 armor for a day.
So +2.
Yep, +2. Well, when you use it.
Yeah, +2 for the day when I use it. Yep.
And then
Okay.
you have a shrapnel grenade. That deals 5 damage when you use it to, everyone in the radius.
There's a question. Can I use it and then use the gravity field to adjust its blast zone? That would be cool.
Maybe.
It's a shape charge.
We'll just have to see.
Ooh.
But if you fail, it's go bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.
And then we will say that everybody for that encounter gets 1 experience.
Woo. +1? Yeah.
Yes.
Since I already used mine.
So, what do the dirtbags do to celebrate?
Shawarma.
Shawarma.
Orma.
Shawarma.
It's the next logical step here. We can keep an eye on the news while we're eating, right?
Yep.
They have a TV somewhere.
Yep.
Off topic, Chris. When we get to Nova this year, we're gonna get shawarma again.
Well, yeah, it was right down the road.
Yep.
Anyways, so you guys manage to get shawarma, and then a couple days pass. You are out. Actually, you are still at the shawarma place. Well, not still, but you're at the shawarma place again, celebrating another victory. It wasn't at the bank this time, but what happened? I'll let you guys. What happened this time? To kind of what petty theft or petty crime did you guys stop this time?
So is this like the next day or something?
Yeah, this is like a couple of days later. You're celebrating a different crime, but you're at the same shawarma place.
Does it have to be the bank again?
No, I'm saying it wasn't at the bank.
Oh, it wasn't at the bank.
We saved kittens from trees.
There you go.
I like it.
And it was really hard because Randy kept wanting to crush them as soon as he grabbed them and bring them out of the tree. He kept trying to either bring the whole tree or and Ryan kept wanting to shoot the limbs to make the cats fall, that sort of thing.
Guys, this will work, I promise.
Yeah. I got this. I even got a Cypher. Watch this. I could do it from 2 miles away. So you're all having fun. Hey! And then all of a sudden, your comms go off again. Beep, beep, beep. Letting you know that
Here we go again.
this time there's a break-in at Periodic Chemicals.
All right. Have we recovered our numbers
Yeah.
yet in this many days?
Yeah, you're back to full at this point.
Okay.
Periodic pickles?
Chemicals.
Oh, I thought you said pickles.
I like periodic pickles.
Maybe that's one of the things they make is genetically modified pickles.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, they're kind of a big deal.
Ah!
Been hanging out way too much with Renshaw.
But
All right, so we're going to the period chemicals.
Periodic chemical.
Their spokesman is Benedict Cucumberbatch.
Is this a bar? Is that what's happening?
What?
No, this
What
is a shaggin' wagon.
What is periodic chemicals? What
It's
is
a
this?
plant. It's like a manufacturing, or it's a research facility. It's just a company. They're kind of in all sorts of things.
Can't get enough of your love, babe.
Randy missed my my pun there because he's too busy
Sorry, I
shagging.
was driving the shaggin' wagon.
I said that Periodic Chemicals, they're like their PR spokesperson's Benedict Cucumberbatch.
Wow. Simply, wow.
Yeah. Yep. We're going with that. So Benedict meets you guys at the as you guys pull up, and he kind of ushers you inside one of their, and surprisingly, like you expected to be more of the like the plant side, or maybe like the office where a lot of like the money and that sort of stuff is, but he takes you into like a research wing of the company, very like locked down, think like top secret kind of area.
Ooh.
And he finds, and he mentions to, he takes you to a floor, and he starts pointing out, he's got like a pad, like an iPad kind of thing up, and he's like scrolling. He's like, we found a whole bunch of different things and all these different labs. There, there was boxes and different things just kind of taken from everything. It's really weird. Like they knew exactly how to get into this section of the lab, but yet it doesn't seem like they were after anything specific. It was just kind of whatever they could get their hands on.
Does he have any security footage?
No, the cameras were taken offline.
Were there any witnesses?
Yes, yeah, there were the lab employees. There's like 5 or 6 that are kind of all kind of standing outside in the hall, or standing in the hallway. Some are being interrogated, but they're talking to like cops, sort of thing. And he's like, right this way, and he motions over to you. And then he goes,
follow him?
and then he takes you over to one dude, kind of an older looking gentleman, like a gray, think like a kind of decent sized gray beard, a little overweight. And he's like, this is Dr. Basalt. He's the lead researcher for this floor. All these projects were kind of under his department.
So what exactly has gone missing?
And then so with that, the Benedict guy, he goes away. He's like, I have other things I need to attend to. The doctor's like, well, there was a bunch of there were some weapons. Nothing. We were working on a new laser pistol. There was the energy. Let me think. Did they get the? And he's like talking to this other one. He's like, oh yes, there was a new energy source that we were, nothing too fancy. Just it was the Mark III kind of super battery. We have our Mark II battery, which is kind of big, and we were working on the Mark III, which is like half the size. And they managed to take the prototype of the Mark III. Luckily, they didn't get to the Mark IV, which is even smaller. But strangely, the Mark V is bigger for some reason. I don't know why. And let's see. Then he's like looking. They're like, and then he looks to the other employees. He's like, What about Vault 10? Does anybody checked Vault 10? And then they're like,
What?
They all got this like, oh shit look on their face, and you see them kind of like run down and go into like one of the rooms.
Should we follow them?
I don't know.
What's in that vault?
Well, they're already gone.
Oh, I
Gotta
follow
run
them.
after him.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we'll keep up.
That you see them going over to. You see them going into one of the rooms, and
You got a visitor, Ryan.
She doesn't want to go to bed.
And you see you go into one of the rooms, and it's a normal lab, but you can see there's like a containment vault type thing on the back wall, which is open and is empty. And as you follow up with everybody, they're over at one of the computers, because it looks like footage inside the vault was not knocked out, and so they actually do have security footage of inside the vault.
So I will ask is there like the doctor and some of the staff there?
Yes, the doctor's
What
the one
was
that's
in
pulling
this
the.
vault?
It was a prototype for a new drug.
What did the drug do?
You know, it had some side effects. You know, the nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach. May give you superpowers. That you know that sort of thing. Diarrhea.
I mean that diarrhea is horrible, but did you just say superpowers?
I mean, maybe. Allegedly.
If that's the side effect, what was the intended purpose?
The intended purpose was to give people superpowers.
Hmm.
And why were you developing such a drug? And what kind of superpowers does it deliver?
Well, as you know, a lot of superpowered people that get their superpowers naturally and through mutations are due to like specific mutant genes that are laid dormant. This was just more of an activation chemical to kind of activate those dormant genes that most people have in them. They just never get activated for any reason.
And who were you developing this for?
Who else? Rich people that have more money than they have sense?
Oh, well, that makes sense.
They have more dollars than cents. Ha ha! Nothing?
Okay,
I
yeah,
like it.
no.
I
So,
like it. Interesting.
so do you have security camera footage of people coming out of here who might have come into this vault?
We have the footage. We're pulling up the footage from inside the vault, and you see kind of like the overhead shot. You know, there's like a briefcase. There's like an open briefcase inside the vault. You can tell that it's a padded briefcase. It's got like 5 vials in it. And you see a guy that looks strangely like some of the thugs that you managed to beat at the bank the other day, who have grabbed that Randy, I'm assuming that was you were the X-Wing I just heard.
That was a TIE fighter. It was a coworker.
Anyways, you see there's like 5 vials in this kind of briefcase, and you see the thug kind of like close the briefcase and pick it up, and you just see him walking out.
Not teleporting?
Well, he's walking out of the vault.
Okay.
You only have the footage
so-
from inside the vault.
Hold on, let me mute this. Mute, do not disturb. So keep going. I'm just responding to this camera house.
Did we see him walk in, or did he just appear in the vault?
He walked
Sorry,
in.
I missed the part. Okay.
Yeah, he walked into the vault and walked out of the vault.
Have any of your employees gone missing since then?
Any of our employee? No. No, nothing. No, that was like the first thing we did was run a check, you know, standard procedure, look for anyone that's been fired, anyone that's gone missing. No, we don't have any immediate suspects as to what happened. I mean, there was the hack of our systems like a couple months ago, but we thought we've rerouted some of the procedures since then, and nothing had happened immediately. So we didn't immediately think of it as to be a threat.
I certainly think that could be a problem.
That does sound like a problem. What kind of security are you running here?
I mean, your standard. Well, I mean, it's we license out our security. You know, our security teams. We go to our security's backed by Secure Core, and they run like all of our firewall installations. They've routed all of our like all the software for the doors and the access corridors. We contract that stuff out. We don't need to worry about that stuff. We're just here for the science.
Okay. I look over at my cyborg friend. He goes, "There's no security company. Ring a bell with you."
I would assume it does.
In fact, Secure Core, not that secure.
That's what I was alluding to.
They're kind of like the lowest bidder, which is why a lot of people use them. It's the only reason is because they're as effective as they are cheap.
I'll relay that information, I guess.
Okay, so you have lax security. You are one of your prototype drugs that gives people superpowers was taken by people that can teleport. Did I sum up the situation?
I guess. I mean, we didn't see them teleport.
Well, we've run into these people before.
Unfortunately, don't really have a lead either, as to where they could be.
So he said he just walked out of the vault. Was there any like security cameras or anybody that saw them teleport out, or they just walk out of the building like, they own the place?
They went back. They walked back to the elevator, and that was the last we saw of them.
Okay, where did the elevator go after that?
Do I look like I know everything?
I mean,
you'll have to
the
check
security company would be keeping track of like logs. If they have like a key to swipe in, did we see that on the way?
Well, yes. I mean that. Yes, the records will show where they are. I don't. I'm just a scientist. I don't know how the elevator works. I know it goes up and down.
We should
scientist are you?
Company then to get more information.
I think the security office is on level 1. They've probably got all that information there.
Level 1 sounds fun. You guys want to go to level 1?
Yeah, sounds like the best option.
Okie dokie.
So level 1 we go.
So you guys managed to get back in the elevator and go to the security office, and it's like your standard. Like they've got like monitors up on the displays, and like there's like the guys in your security guard sitting there behind a desk. And so they see you guys come in, they're like, "Oh, the dirtbags. Is there any way that like you guys could downplay like what happened here so we don't lose our jobs?"
That depends on how helpful you are with us now.
I give me super helpful. All right. What do you need? Just whatever. You want coffee? We make. Tom makes killer latte, man.
We need to know if there's any elevator access or door access that was sort of unaccounted for within the past 24 hours.
Oh yeah, bro. No problem. I can pull that up for you. Yeah, I don't have any security camera footage, but I've got the logs of all the elevator access points, when they got in and where they went, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So we can think back to like the timestamp on the security and ask like right before that or right after that if there's anything.
Okay.
That went to that level.
All right. So he pulls up the log and he's like, so I don't have like I said, I don't have the camera footage, but I could see here that, that elevator was like on the research lab, the sub-basement floor, B2, and then it actually went back up to level 1 here. It actually went to the roof. So it went up towards the roof, but we actually have camera coverage there. That they did knock out that camera coverage. So I can actually show you the door opening. So he's like typing away at this thing, and like you see bloop, the picture of the elevator. It opens up and nobody's inside.
They teleported it out.
I don't know what to tell you. The logs only show it went straight from the sub basement floor straight to the topmost floor, and that's it. No stops in between.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They teleported out. All right, team, we're back at square one because we don't know where the heck they went.
Well,
any other possible leads?
I bet if we go eat shawarma again, something bad might happen.
That seems to be our luck. We always eat shawarma and something happens.
All right. Which happens to be that the shawarma place is not far from where you are at. So it's like walking distance.
I mean, does the shawarma place like have a freaking buffet cart or something?
No, it's in the city. It's in the city hall. Like it's like the bottom level of city hall.
Yeah, but do they have like a rewards program?
I mean, sure.
Because we eat there all the time. Because do we get like a free meal like after every 10 times?
Yeah.
Yes.
However, before you get to the shawarma place, I need everyone to roll initiative.
I got the 5 this time.
8.
Is that with any bonuses, by the way?
Sadly, yes.
Okay.
18.
18. Is that natural or with any bonuses?
That is a natural. I have no initiative bonuses.
All right. So, you happen to see something out of the corner of your eye. However, you aren't able to react fast enough. All of a sudden, you see like this blur of electricity go flying by and knock all 3 of you off your feet.
Okay.
Did you guys see that?
I did. Can I see where it went, or it just kind of blew us off and disappeared?
It blew it. So you see it. It looks like it raced past you, and then turned around and look. You can see it's kind of like this lightning is kind of like coming back and heading back towards you.
Hold on. Okay, I know what I'll do.
What's that?
This is gonna cost a lot of intellect points to do this. I am going to use one of my powers called Weight of the World. It's costing me 6 intellect points to do it.
Okay.
You can increase a target's weight dramatically. The target is pulled to the ground and cannot physically move under its own power.
Okay.
The target must be
Sounds
within
good.
short range, so I have to wait till he gets closer. And for each level of effort applied, you can affect one additional creature, but we only have one target. And cannot physically move for 1 minute.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to spend my 6 intellect points to do it.
All right. So you spend the points, and all of a sudden you see this thing. I'm assuming it probably isn't a roll since it's that high. I'll just say, yeah, it's actually, because you're targeting something moving very fast, and you don't even know if it's a person or anything yet. You just know it's an object.
I'm assuming it is a person, probably. That's why I'm reacting the way I am.
All right. And we'll just so it's more of a you've kind of set up a field, and like as soon as something passes into it, you're kind of like basically collapse it to kind of increase its weight. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's like almost like Bigsby's hand, like pushing something down.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
how I see it.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll just say, yeah, it happens. So you see this thing, you see this bolt of energy just kind of like roaring up to you, and then suddenly just like collapse on the ground as it enters in like the right in front of you. And you see a man that's just sitting there. Like you can see him move. Like even though that he's on the ground, you can still see he's some sort. He has to be some sort of speedster because even his body is still like jittering a little bit, like he's trying to move. even though he weighs like a super ton.
I will just say hi.
And the body, like, he can't really move, but he kind of can turn his head, and you just see him look at you, and he's like, shawarma. Why shawarma?
Oh.
Because it's delicious. So that was my turn.
All right. And with that, after Randy does that, the creature kind of, or the person looks at you and he's like, "Is that all this is? It's just a game to you, and your this feeble restaurant is just some prize to be won for defeating some obstacle."
Is he making fun of our restaurant?
I think he's making fun of our restaurant.
I don't like it when they make fun of our restaurant.
Suddenly, you see him start to vibrate, and he phases through the ground.
Not again.
Okay.
And with that, I need everybody to make a level 7 speed defense roll. So you need to beat a 21.
Oh yeah, I didn't beat that.
I am trained, and I'm going to use the effort as well.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna try to re-roll that because I can't beat it. So
what do I have to beat?
A 21.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I got a 19, but
Suddenly, out of another building, you see him kind of appear through the building and come and knock all of you off your feet again. This time, you're all going to take 7 points of might damage.
Ooh.
does armor apply for that or no?
Yes.
Okay.
7 points is what you said?
Yes. 7 minus
Okay.
armor.
That's nothing for me. All right. Yeah, that wasn't good.
All right. And then, Katie, it's you first.
It's my turn?
Yes.
I don't know how this is gonna work. Can we see him?
Yes. He's moving fast, but you can still see him.
Okay, would I know what his... Oh no, I'm just gonna try it anyway. Terrifying presence.
Okay.
It's you can convince one intelligent target of level 3 or lower that you are its worst nightmare.
Ooh.
Or I can apply effort to increase the level if the target's higher.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. So you are doing this?
Yep.
All right. So what does this look like? I need you to act it out for me. Or,
Okay.
lay it
so,
out for me.
You just see, like, Mistress Menelaus just walks up. And then she starts to get a little wavy. Her hair starts to frizz out more. And then she just starts yelling. Stop!
And all of a sudden you see it's like racing towards you, and it stops and looks right at you. And you can see it's wearing some sort of mask, but you can tell for what skin is showing that his eyes are all bloodshot red, and you can see like red veins kind of like in his face, kind of like seeping away from his eyes. And then he speaks and he goes, people like you used to scare me, but not anymore. Now I am better. And you see he's got in his other hand, he's holding like what you appear to be one of the vials from
oh Lord.
And he smashes it kind of on the ground and then kind of takes off again.
Oh, well, at least we now who
Not
figured out who
takes
took the
like
drugs.
we'll say basically he stops in front of you, and then he basically, oh, I know what happens. He then, as he stops around you, suddenly he starts spinning super fast around Katie. Enough that you start to be pulled upwards by the wind forces until he pulls you about 3 stories up in the air and then runs away so that the thing then disappears.
Can I try to grapple him when he's running around? Just hold my arms out in the circle somewhere.
You can try, but you will have to make a might defense to avoid being sucked up as well.
Grapple him. I'd be more concerned with helping someone who's falling through.
Well, no. So what he's saying is before
that.
Yeah, before he met you're rising up off the ground, so he's interjecting a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna dive into the ring where he's spinning around and try and knock him out of it.
I need you to beat a level 7 might roll.
Okay. I'll use effort there too.
Okay.
Let's see. That's a 15, but with effort, I guess, equivalent to an 18.
Okay. So you feel like you kind of hit him for a minute, and you manage to your momentum is enough to pull you kind of through the cloud, but you're kind of bulky enough that you don't get pulled away. But you did not manage to nail the timing right. So now you're kind of in the eye of this thing, and kind of your weight is kind of your systems are adjusting and kind of grappling you to the, you've got your
shifting
boots.
My center of
your boots also have some hooks that are kind of grabbing into the dirt. Think whenever you see mechs firing huge guns, they always have those arms that kind of latch down.
Yeah.
You've kind of got some your components are kind of adapting for you and kind of making that happen. But you aren't able to stop as he creates this cloud and then dissipates it so that now Katie is above you and falling.
Okay, can I do a recovery roll to try to recover some intellect points?
Yes, you can.
Okay, because I can't help her unless I get some intellect points back. All right, so just a D6 roll, right?
Yes. D6 plus 1.
D6 plus 1.
And you can put those points anywhere.
Okay, I got a 11. Oh, D6, sorry. D6 out of 20.
I was about to say.
2, so I got 3. I'll put that on my intellect, which will give me 5 back.
And you can't go above your max.
Yeah, my max is 8, so I can't go above that.
Okay.
All right. So what is Katie's situation? She's falling.
Yeah, she's about. This is by the time it gets back to your turn. He's kind of finished his maneuver, and she's now starting to fall. But that was your turn is getting the intellect points back. With that, it is actually Katie's turn.
Okay. I'm coming, Katie! With my mind.
I'll just hold my arms out.
All right. Are you gonna do it? Do you have anything up your sleeve that you could do, Katie?
Hang on, I lost the audio there.
Yeah, Chris, the audio is breaking up several times on this, so pardon us.
All right, you got me now?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, so I was just saying, Katie, is there anything you're going to try and do?
Try to do? There's not much I can do. Fall gracefully.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Ryan's right after you, so if you want to, are you going to try and do anything to...
I don't really know what else I can do either. I'm just going to hold my arms out and try and break her fall a little bit.
Okay. All right. I will say that, Randy, if you spend 3 speed points, I'll let you interact quicker than you normally could, so that you could attempt to stop her.
I will do that, and then I will spend 4 intellect. Was it 4 intellect? No. Yeah, 4 intellect points to catch her with my force of gravity and gently lower her into Ryan's hands like he catches her.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, while you guys are all preoccupied with this, you see that the figure has been busy snatching people up off the street. And he has been taking them and putting them on rooftops.
Seriously.
Yeah, I don't have the intellect power to do this right now.
And he's like, "You can't save them all." And then I need everyone to make another speed defense roll. Level 7 again.
We just need to get like a helicopter and go pick them up.
Okay, so I just discovered I have lessening gravity's pull. By manipulating gravity pull on myself, you gain +1 to your speed edge.
Okay.
I just learned that.
I rolled a 20.
Oh, nice. Natural?
Plus I'm trained in speed defense.
Okay.
I think that should be enough.
Yes.
All right, so I will use my speed edge for a 19.
Okay. So meaning you get a 19 total?
Yep.
All right. So it's still not high enough for Randy, but Ryan, you get a major effect, basically, that you can do here.
Okay. So this speed defense roll is from this guy again?
This guy, yeah, and it's him coming at and trying to and attacking you again. So as he comes charging at you, what are you doing to defend yourself and also manipulate
try to
it?
do the same thing as before, just like step in the way and brace myself to try and catch him.
Okay. All right, so you managed
I'll still take the blow or something, but try and like take him with me and pin him or grapple with him.
Got it. So you managed to, let's say that you are, as like Randy's in front, kind of like dealing with this, and you've still got Katie kind of in your arms, and you see him coming around for another attack, and you set Katie down, and you manage to. Here's what happens. As he goes towards Randy's character. You manage to kind of do this 1-2 thing where you shove Randy out of the way and then kind of stick your foot out.
Okay.
And you manage to trip him up so he like falls and like does like a tumble on the ground.
That's good.
So he's like momentarily not knocked out, but just on the ground. So with that, I think it is Randy's turn.
Okay, well, what can I do? I am out of intellect points, so I can't use any of my power moves right
Are you
now.
on 0 intellect points?
I'm on 1 intellect point.
Okay, good.
Because everything is multiple. I could spend that last one and hover, but I'm not going to spend the last one because don't I die if I do that?
No, but you do become impaired.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, if any of your pulls drop to 0, the first time it drops to 0, you become impaired. The second time, more impaired, and when all 3 are 0, you're dead.
Yep, so I can't do anything for 10 minutes because I got to get recovery rolls in. So I've already done my action roll. I can't do anything for 10 minutes. So I'm just going to taunt him.
Okay. I mean, you could do normal it just means you can't do anything that spends points.
No, I don't know what I can do, though.
I'm assuming, like... So, does your
I am
character...
a warrior.
I'm assuming you'd have to have some sort of weapon.
I didn't pick a weapon. I had my mind. I would use my fist.
Okay.
Is he on the ground?
Yes.
I will punch him.
Okay.
And I have no idea how to roll this because I didn't write this down on my sheet.
Well, your fists should be like a light weapon, but I would imagine
Two.
you probably would have. Did you take the ability that was like no need for weapons?
No, I did the warrior thing.
I know it's a warrior ability.
Let me find that in the book. Hold on.
Well, what did you read off like the abilities that you picked? The
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got it.
it should be under special abilities.
Okay, yeah. I can spend a might point for bash.
Did you pick
I will
those?
spend-
You only get those if you had picked them.
I didn't write down anything where I picked. Hold on. What did I pick? Stand by.
There should be what, 4 of them?
Yeah,
that
I
you
was
can
about to say. I
pick?
think it's like 4 abilities you get to pick out of the warrior.
I did not pick any of these. I picked background guard, first tier warrior.
Randy.
Yeah, I didn't do very well filling out this character sheet. I know I suck.
All right.
First
well,
tier warriors have the following abilities. Okay.
and you should get like 4 under the special abilities, one of which is bash. But another one that you may want to look into that I recommend, especially the way that you do stuff, is there's one that's no need for weapons, which treats your fists, or there's like one for like, treats your fists like light hand or like heavy or medium weapons.
Yeah, no need for weapons. Yep.
So that might be a good one.
And let's see. Practiced in armor, quick draw, swipe, thrust. That's for melee weapons. Melee attacks, bash. Yeah, I will go ahead and say I have bash down there. I just wrote that one down.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll say if you're just if you're going to do some sort of melee attack basically on him, I need you to since he's on the ground and he's stunned or knocked or preoccupied, it is only going to be a level 4 to beat him. You only need to beat a 12.
And I got a 9.
All right.
He laughs.
You manage to right before you can get into the ground, he manages to like not super speed move away, but manages to flip over enough as your fist kind of comes down on the ground. So, no, Katie's next.
Can I taunt him now?
Like as you're saying that, sure. Or
Yeah.
as you're
So,
doing.
approximately how long have we been fighting it?
It's been
Curious.
about like 2 minutes
5
or so.
Oh. No, I don't want to do that. Then it'd be bad. Although, you know what? I want to try to establish a telepathic link with him.
Okay.
Ooh.
Is he willing?
Is he willing?
He
That's a
has
good
to be
question.
willing.
No, he is not willing.
Not at all.
No.
Not the least bit willing.
Nope. I think that's more
Well,
of
then
like
that won't work.
communicating with allies kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, all else fails, I can do a recovery roll.
All right. Ryan, I think it moves to you.
I want to chase after him and try and grapple him again, just to pin him down, kind of.
Okay. Then like you'll need to make a beat a 12 right now still. This is all
Yeah.
kind of
No
happening while
muscles?
he's this is all still kind of happening while he's on the ground.
Okay, yeah, I did not do that. I got a 7.
May I remind you that you all have ciphers and you have XP that
I
you
can-
could spend.
I am going to use an XP
Oh!
to reroll this
And you
one.
can also spend XP for other people to reroll.
That part I forgot, but I am going to spend one of my XP to reroll that.
Okay.
Oh, I could have.
And that's a 17. That's a lot better. Okay.
Yes. And with a 17, you get, let's see, it's 4, 3, 2. You get 1 bonus. What kind of attack were you doing? Were you doing like anything
it's-
special or?
I guess like just an unarmed attack. I want to just like
Okay. We'll
pin him
say,
to the
yeah. So you
ground.
do an extra damage. You managed to do 5 damage to him.
Okay.
All right. All right. So with that, he kind of like stumbles back up, and kind of he stumbles back up and looks at the 3 of you again, and this time he starts spinning his arms really fast, creating tunnels of wind that kind of throw you back.
Oh, good God.
This time, however, you need to do a might defense roll. But this time you only have to beat a 15.
A might defense roll.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 1. So
You
I
got a
definitely
1.
did.
Oh.
I got a 12.
Okay.
Oh, that was so. 15. Oh,
Oh.
I am not good at might.
Well, you managed to beat it though.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay.
You had to
Never mind then.
equal or beat.
And that's even including. I could spin an edge on that, I guess, but I still wouldn't beat it. Never mind.
No, so as a rule, if you're going to spend effort, you need to say so before the roll.
I better not spend any effort because I'm at 2 on my might level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not a good idea.
So, what happens is so Katie manages to stand her ground of all people. The 2 warrior types, or the more muscular bound guys, go flying.
One of my like feet plant things shorts out, and I just kind of.
However, you're gonna take 4 damage minus armor, or 5 damage minus armor.
All of us?
No, the ones that flew.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm impaired now.
Uh-oh.
I should have gotten my thing out so I see what impaired was
My sheet says plus one.
at
Yeah.
Level, yeah.
again. Okay, so it's on your sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I was trying to. Oh, there it is. Yes, impaired and debilitated. Okay, yeah. So Randy is now impaired. Ryan, however, when you hit the wall, you hit with a little bit of a heart. This building's taking some. It's not very structurally sound.
Ugh.
So when you hit the wall, it starts to crumble a little bit, and the person that's on top of the building that you hit loses their footing and is now dangling from the roof.
Not again.
Okay.
So, and with that, Randy, it is your turn.
So what's the guy doing right now? Is he still like making the big vortex?
No, this was like a thing. He just kind of. So this is like immediately after he stops his arms. He hasn't like sped away or anything yet.
Okay, so is there like any like wind or force effects
No.
right now on us?
No. As soon as you went
Okay.
flying, he stopped.
So where's Kate? How far is Katie away from him right now?
Katie is still like, in immediate distance to him.
Hey, Katie, run!
Yeah.
I chunked the grenade.
Oh God.
I spin my Cypher.
Okay.
So I chunked the shrapnel grenade at him.
Okay.
And I say, it's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this.
All right. Katie, I'm going to need you to make a speed defense roll. And you need to beat a 12.
Oh, shrapnel.
Remember, if you're going to spend effort, you need to do so beforehand.
7. Woo!
All right. You don't react fast enough, but fortunately, neither does he, as it managed to hit him like right in the chest and
Yeah.
and explode, but you're both taking 5 damage.
Might.
Yes.
Sorry, Katie.
I just got some back too.
And with that, he is Some of the shrapnel has gotten in his legs, so he is not down, but you can see he's not running away anytime soon. He's been crippled at this point. So Katie, it's over to you.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay.
Just my light weapon.
Okay. So you'll need to beat a 12 then.
Can't read this blue. 14.
14. All right. So light weapons, that's what? 4 damage? 2 damage?
2 damage.
2 damage?
2. It's the same as punches and kicks.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so what you were just shooting him with a gun?
It's basically like a gun.
All right.
It has a different name.
You managed to hit like some of the shrapnel, and you just hear him kind of like screaming in pain at this point.
Evil laugh.
Maniacal laugh. All right, and then Ryan.
Yeah, I want to like walk up to him and pin him down with one of my heavy metal feet.
Okay, so you do that. And you
and-
manage to like press the shrapnel kind of more into his
Yeah,
legs.
just twist the heel a little bit and just ask like, how did you get that?
And he's
Or how
like,
did you get that vial?
all of a sudden, like you can see, he just he's going more limp and
Mhm.
stuff, and he's just like, I just wanted to be fast. And you can see like him kind of like fading, and he's like, they said I would be strong, that I would not be weak anymore.
Who said?
I don't know. And you can see like tears start to come down his eyes, but they're like bloody.
Who does number
Oh,
2
man,
work
is he gonna
for?
Die?
Yeah, I'm gonna take my foot off because I don't actually want to kill him. I just wanna make sure he doesn't move.
All
I
right.
stumble up with all the might that I have, which is nothing.
So he's like, he's having trouble seeing at this point, and he's like coughing up blood at this point. So like
Ugh.
he takes his mask off, and you see that it's Tony from the bank.
Oh.
Tony!
Tony! Why
Tony,
did you do
you've
this?
been our friend for years. We've saved your banks numerous times.
So he's like in between spitting up blood. He's like, he's every time, so many years, so many tragedies, so many hospital trips, so many avoiding blasts. It was too much. I just couldn't do it anymore.
But that's what made you Tony.
You could have been one of us. You could have been the guy in the chair.
And you can just
Professor
you can see like now that he's taken his mask off, you can see like this thing is like seriously messed him up. Like you could see just like stuff like you know, like a bad drug that's just like going through like all his veins in his face and down his arms kind of thing.
Does anybody have any superhero medicine?
No.
No, but by this point, he's down long enough that paramedics and cops have come with like power dampening collars or cuffs to like take him away at this point.
So have we gotten everything out of him we think we can get?
Don't know.
I don't think
Oh,
so. I
damn.
mean,
Or
he
at least you won't be able to until he's up and at 'em better
doesn't-
and able to talk more. But he does, as he's getting put into the truck, he's like, I was just the first. Watch out. There are still 4 more to come.
Oh no.
And scene.
Thanks, Tony.
There's always money in the shawarma stand.
Man, he kept making fun of our shawarma stand. That's sad. Poor
And-
Tony.
And in the background, the lone guy that nobody remembered, like, falls.
Oh
Poor
shoot!
guy. A big like splat.
No,
Damn.
he does one of those, like, hits a couple of the banister, and like lands on a car.
Oh, okay.
So he's not dead, but he's pretty hurt.
I totally forgot about that guy.
So I guess
Oh.
I would have given you more experience had you saved that guy, but I'm gonna give everybody 3 experience for the whole adventure.
How much you broke up there?
3.
3. All right.
Oh, I'm at 4.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm at
which
4.
conveniently is enough that you could use to level up if you wanted to.
Level up.
Although
Right.
by
I gotta
my
figure out
count,
your head.
Katie should have 5.
Yeah, I didn't use.
Yeah, I spent 1, so I'm at 4.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I spent 1 to re-roll a few rounds ago.
Yeah, I have Ryan and Randy at 4 and Katie at 5.
That's what I'm at.
So if you look at the top of your sheet, you got advancements that we can talk about off camera. But there you go. That's the first episode of the Legion of Dirtbag Heroes.
Yay!
We did it. We were dirtbags.
Only one person
But
got
that guy died.
Only one bystander got critically injured.
Okay, he's not dead yet.
Not yet.
And then poor Tony. Wow.
Tony.
With
Why
an
would he
I
do
with an
this?
E and a Y.
Yes, 3 different. They're all Tonys.
It's TONIEY.
All of the above. Tony.
That was a band in the 90s. Tony.
Mm. But they just call him Stacy.
Toga. Anyway, so there you go. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna shut down the stream now, but I'll be back
Bye,
next
friends.
month probably.
Yeah, we'll have to see when we can actually get back together.
Yay! But we did it. We started the campaign.
Yes.
Yay!
That was fun. That was great fun.